Welcome to the Old Capital Real Estate Investing Podcast with Michael Becker and Paul Peebles. During this program, you will hear interviews with real-life successful investors who will share their stories and provide useful advice on how to acquire, finance, and operate apartment complexes. Now, here they are, Michael Becker and Paul Peebles.
Welcome to the Old Capital Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Peebles, National Underwriter for Old Capital. And typically joining me would be the man himself, Mr. Michael Becker, smartest guy in the room. But we have the other smartest guy in the room joining us today. So it's the professor himself, Mr. James Eng. James, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me, Paul.
So it's getting about that time of the year that the Old Capital team puts on which I think is the best conference out there, the Old Capital Conference. And I thought we'd spend a little bit of time kind of telling people a little bit more about it. You know, we can tell them 5 days to Sunday what it's about. They may see 10 invitations coming from us. But if we don't tell them one more time, James, that they won't come and unfortunately they'll miss some great activities. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Old Capital Conference, and it's going to be, again, September 22nd, 23rd here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm going to give you my personal invitation to come. So, I want to have you understand from the man himself. And so James is kind of the premier advisor that puts these annual conferences together. He does a wonderful job. If you come to our past conferences, you've met or seen and spoken to Roger Staubach, Captain Comeback, the gentleman that brought the Dallas Cowboys. But what you probably didn't know, that he was the captain of industry when it comes to commercial real estate. So we had him on, say, 2 years ago. We had Coach Lou Holtz giving us some great information, insight on a little bit about the life. And we really loved listening to Coach Lou Holtz. We had one of the top F-18 Top Gun fighters and talk a little bit about putting together the team. And so, we've had wonderful speakers. And so we'll talk a little bit about that today. But again, I'm inviting you, James and I are inviting you to the Old Capital Conference on September 22nd, 23rd. So James, let's talk a little bit more about this, and I'm going to let you kind of kick it off and give us kind of your vision and what people can expect.
Yeah, I mean, when we started this probably back 5 years ago, this is the fifth year that we're doing it, and we wanted a conference that we actually wanted to go to. So there's a lot of conferences out there, and you're in a hotel room, a ballroom, and it really didn't have the same vibe that the excitement that we wanted. So every year we do our best to find, number one, a venue that is fun for everyone to come out. So we've had it at AT&T Stadium, where the Cowboys play. We've had it at House of Blues. And this year we rented out the stadium where the Texas Rangers play. And this stadium's only 1 year old. It's only 1 year old. So they played about half a season before COVID hit. And then this was sort of their first full season there. And a lot of people I know have never even gone out to the new stadium. And we decided, hey, let's just be on the field. And so we rented out the entire stadium with the whole field for us. So I think every time we go there and step on the field, I'm sort of amazed at how big it is. So that's number one, the unique venue. And then number two, we put these events on and we get great speakers. And the thing that happens though, when not only do we have a happy hour the day before on Wednesday, and then the actual event on Thursday, is all the people in between, all the conversations in between, whether you are looking for deals or you're looking for partners or you're looking for just people to help you in this journey in the multifamily space. I think the people we bring to this conference are the general partners, the actual owners in this industry, especially around sort of that B and C space. And so these are not just, the employees of big companies that are coming. It is the guys who are actually making the decisions. And I think that is what distinguishes this conference from a lot of other ones, besides just the venue being different. And the difference is when we put this conference on, this is not like we do a conference this month and then we do another conference next month in a different location. This is the only one we do. So we spend a lot of time making sure that we put the best people up on stage, and then we connect the right people that come to this event. And so I think that is what distinguishes it. Is our day job is putting deals together and finding debt for all these deals, and that is our day job. That allows us to actually put on a really great conference because we know the content better than anybody else because we're doing it day in and day out. So
let's go back to that field. I mean, we've had it at Cowboy Stadium. We've had it where the Dallas Cowboys played. We've had it at, I think, absolutely cool venues. And I think this is one of those cool venues, this Globe Life Park, which has a retractable roof in Arlington, Texas. And again, just like James says, we are going to be on the field. You're going to be on the grass, which is really not grass, it's turf, by the way. And our monitor is going to be in the right field. And it's that big monitor that everybody in the whole ballpark can see. So this is, just one of those unbelievable, venues, which, I think that ballpark holds 40,000 people and we'll have 500 plus people there. So you won't get lost in this place, but you could, because it's just such a huge venue to have it at. And then just like what James was saying is that the people that are coming to this event, it's an event that you want to come to because it is held by people that are in the industry. And the people that are attending the event are people that want to learn about what's going on from people in the industry, whether it is a limited partner that wants to know a little bit more about, is this a good time to invest? And, where do I put my money at? Or it's good for a general partner, a managing member that may have bought one or two other deals, but still wants to kind of understand, put their ear to the ground about what's going on out there and what other vendors I should be talking to. And if I'm not self-managing, maybe I should talk to another possible management company or another attorney that we haven't probably used that we could probably get some better information on, or, all these different types of vendors that support the industry are there. And so we certainly do like that. James, what have I missed?
So the first day on Wednesday, we have a happy hour set for about 2 hours at Texas Live, which is walking distance, just right across the street, really, from Globe Life Field. And that in itself is a very cool venue. So we're going to have happy hour there at Texas Live. And we had that 2 years ago before the House of Blues. And some people just coming to the happy hour, they were good with that. That was enough. They were done. So that's sort of day one. And then a lot of people are staying across the street. There's a brand new Lowe's hotel right there. So a lot of people are staying at that hotel if you're coming in from out of town. So you can stay at the Lowe's hotel. You don't need a car. You can walk over to Texas Live on Wednesday night and then walk over to the conference venue on Thursday. And on Thursday, we have sort of a stacked agenda. We've packed it all in. This is not one of those events where it's dragged out over 4 days or 5 days. And, you have
a couple of things, James, because I know you have unbelievable numbers and dates and times, everything that on an Excel report, that it's all laid out. Just kind of go through a couple things.
A couple things here. We're going to start off with the economist, Casey Conway. So Casey Conway, if you haven't heard him speak, we had him on the Old Capital Speaker Series, probably at the end of 2020. But he is the chief economist for CCIM. He's worked as a lender, appraiser. He works for a couple of different REITs. So he's going to not only give us insight into what's going on in the economy right now, but then how it applies to all aspects of commercial real estate. So Casey Conway is going to kick it off, and then we'll get into it with bring up some of the top listing brokers and lenders. And then we are going to do a fireside chat with Ivan Rodriguez. So Ivan Pudge Rodriguez is going to be joining us right before lunch and really going to give us sort of his story and how he came to sort of from Puerto Rico over to the United States and really became like the dominant catcher for not only the Rangers, but for a lot of teams, and won pretty much every award that you can possibly win. And so having a long history like that, I think Pudge is going to be great. And then, after we'll have lunch, and then we'll have our keynote speaker sort of wrap us up in the afternoon. So Paul, any feedback on this last keynote speaker?
So I love this idea, and the reason being this keynote speaker that's going to be joining us is not a superstar sports hero like Pudge Rodriguez. Pudge Rodriguez, got in on the first year of eligibility to be in the Hall of Fame, with 76% of all votes were sent to him. So, that guy was an unbelievable, but our keynote speaker this year is not that guy. He didn't throw a bunch of touchdowns like Roger Staubach. He didn't lead a bunch of national championship football teams like Lou Holtz. He didn't fly F-18s for Top Gun like some of our past speakers. He wasn't the guy that shot and killed Osama bin Laden like one of our keynote speakers. He's the guy that is built an unbelievable culture for his company. And he's a guy that is the president of HEB Grocers. HEB Grocers, you may know them as Central Market or just HEB. They are they're the number one national grocery store in the United States. Number one. They beat Amazon, they beat Walmart, they beat Trader Joe's. This is the company that everyone turns to when they want to talk about culture. And we have a lot of things to talk about in culture when it applies to apartments. But when it comes to grocery stores, these guys have an unbelievable market share. In some areas of Texas, as an example, they have a 52% market share in San Antonio, 45% in Austin. They are just huge in these places. They have 130,000 employees. So the culture is the reason why we brought him on, and the reason why James and I want him to speak, because there's similarities when you have a successful winning culture on your team. If you own an apartment building, or you manage an apartment building, or you have raving fans that are your tenants, that culture starts with you. And so it starts with our keynote speaker. And that's something that I want you to kind of understand about how you create that winning culture. And so people have lots of choices. They can turn to the right or left. They can go to Kroger's on the right, or go to HEB on the left. More of the people go to the left and shop at HEB. They sell a homogeneous product similar to apartments and rents. We all have apartments. We all have bedrooms. We all have toilets. We all have refrigerators. But how do more people come in to a store like HEB versus Walmart or shop at Amazon? They do it because of their culture. Because the people who work there want to work there, and the people who shop there want to shop there. So that's our reason in our thinking is how to improve your culture. So Scott McClellan's going to be our keynote speaker, and we look forward to having him. Anything more to add on that, James?
No, I think it's super important. And I think as you go about growing your business, so doing your first deal, and then as you go from maybe 0 to 1, that's definitely a hard step. But then as you go from 1 to 10 properties, or 10 to 20 properties, all those pieces, whether it's within your partnership, whether it's your management company, whether it's your tenants that you're renting to, all those pieces make a huge difference in sort of driving your returns and how long you last in this business, right? So they've been in this business for a long time. So just hearing about how they've been able to succeed in such a competitive business. A lot of times we think multifamily is competitive, which it is, but the grocery business is one of the toughest ones out there. And so that's why I wanted to bring him in and have him wrap up the day for us right before happy hour.
And man, are we going to have a good happy hour? We're going to have a good happy hour, because I think what we're going to do is, at least what my plans and our plans are, we're going to play a baseball game on the field. You can't do that in a lot of halls. You can't do that in a lot of hotels. You can't do that in a lot of other places, but you can do that when you're having a conference on the baseball field of a major league stadium. that you can hit a ball over the left field, especially if it's a wiffle ball and a wiffle bat. We don't want to hurt anybody, but you may be throwing in the bullpen too. We have control over the entire stadium on the field. I mean, this is what we really want you to come talk with people, get to know them. This is a relationship business. This is a networking opportunity. Since COVID's come around, last year was a complete screw up, and a little bit of this year has been. This is a good opportunity to come out and meet people, spend some time, and figure out if this is the right direction for you to go with your hard-earned money to put it into multifamily. Is this the right time? Do I still want to be in multifamily? And so James and I have assembled what we think are the best speakers out there to kind of give you confidence if this is something you want to do, or just kind of figure out what direction you want to go. So, September 22nd, 23rd, oldcapitalconference.com. Again, oldcapitalconference.com. Write that down, oldcapitalconference.com. And you need RSVP. You need to get a ticket to jump in and be part of the team. I know that from today to the time of the conference, our ticket prices keep going up every week. So you want to get in right now to get your ticket, to be part of the team, be on the field, be part of the team, be on the winning team for the Old Capital Conference. Any last minute words there, James?
No, I think that's perfect. I mean, I think, we could have probably charged $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000. Some of these conferences.
Let's do that.
So, I mean, a lot of these conferences charge an arm and a leg to be there. I think it's a good price in comparison. And I don't know how many stories in the last 4 or 5 years from conferences, even when we did our virtual one, just the relationships that people made and the connections that they made led to deals that were, 10, 20, $30 million just from coming to this conference. And so I think it's a huge opportunity. Don't miss it. You have a month to get yourself registered, figure out how you're going to get here, or just drive the car over from your nearest DFW suburb. So, we're excited about it and hope you can really join us.
So again, September 22nd, 23rd, my personal invitation to you. We'd love for you to come and be part of it. Go on the oldcapitalconference.com website. Take a look at some of the past conferences. Look at a lot of happy, smiley faces of people that have been participating in the conferences. And again, we're not trying to sell you anything. There's no education. There's nothing that goes along with this. We just want to make sure that we're introducing you to the right people, and then you're out there trying to figure out, making sure that you have all the best education about what's going on in the multifamily space. So again, James, thanks for stopping by and giving us a shout out on the Old Capital Conference. Again, September 22nd, 23rd, again at Texas Ranger Stadium, the Globe Life Park ballpark in Arlington, Texas. Hopefully we'll see you then. Again, I'm Paul Peebles. That's the Professor James Eng. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Old Capital Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please join us at oldcapitalpodcast.com to sign up for our weekly email updates. We'll see you next week for another great interview.